Okay, so we will begin in our empty stance, otherwise called Wu Ji. And so just take a moment to set your feet about hips distance apart. Just going to take a peek here. Good. Lifting up through the crown of your head. So lifting up here. And if you find difficulty doing that, you can just take your chin and slightly tuck it back towards your throat. And then just give your shoulders a little roll just to invite some looseness and get rid of some rigidity and let them be nice and relaxed. So feet about hips distance apart and lifting up through the crown of the head. Shoulders and arms are relaxed. And then if you make a little tiny bend with your knee, and I like to show this from the side because as soon as you bend your knee, you can see that little tiny drop of the tailbone without really curving the low back. So just a nice relaxed stance. And last, if you're comfortable taking the tip of your tongue to the top of your teeth, behind the root, like behind the top teeth at the roof of the mouth, like you're saying la 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 la, you can let your tongue rest there. And then let's take 3 deep breaths. Let's breathe in through our nose. Exhale. Breathe in through our nose. Exhale. And one more. And take your tongue back to the top teeth behind the roof of the mouth. And just observe how your body's feeling, either standing or seated. This is always an option to sit. You might feel a little bit of swaying, a little bit of back and forward movement. You also might feel a little bit of side to side movement. We're just kind of feeling that natural movement as your body establishes its roots. Feeling the nice connection with the bottoms of your feet to the floor. Feeling a lightness and a lifting through the crown of the head. And then setting our intention for our practice. We'll take a deep breath and maybe release any rigid thoughts, any rigid movements, any stiffness, anything that isn't flexible in our body or our mind. And we take that big inhale and that slow exhale. And then bringing in on our next breath, flexibility, suppleness, ease and comfort in our body and in our mind. And then our last breath, we're going to seal all that beautiful energy in, keeping that flexibility and openness and suppleness throughout our practice. Resting your hands just on the lower belly, on the lower dantian. And just taking a couple of breaths here, maybe feeling the belly rise and fall as you breathe. Noticing if you start to creep the shoulders up towards the ears and seeing if you can just let them relax. And release your hands. In preparation for the spring and the wood element, we're going to just start with the roots or the feet and do our Gong or warm up from the feet. So if you have bare feet, you can also wear light shoes for this, but most of us are probably barefoot because we're home. You're going to step your foot back and take the top of your foot and roll it a few times. If that does not feel comfortable, if you have like an ingrown toenail or some arthritis in the toes, that's okay. You don't have to do that. You can just circle the ankle. Otherwise, see if you can get that top of the foot rolling. Good. And then just place the ball of the foot and move the foot. If you're finding it difficult to place the foot behind you, you can place the foot in front of you and keep the heel up and circle the knee. If you look down, it's like you're circling your knee around the foot. And just do about 6 in each direction. We'll stay with the number 6 today. It seems to be able to fit everything in if we move slowly and mindfully. And once you've done that, you can take the other foot and kind of step it back, coming on the tops of the toes and making a few circles with the top of the foot if it feels comfortable. This at first felt very uncomfortable for me. I felt like I don't think the top of my foot was stretchy enough, but it feels better the more I do it. And then the ball of the foot, I'm just circling that knee around the ankle, holding on to something if you need to, and reversing that direction. Good. And then bringing your feet or your roots close together. We're going to move up to the knees. So we're going to make our tiger's mouth for this one. So your fingers are together, lightly touching. Thumb is out, and we're going to take the thumb to the inside, just above the knee, the inside of the leg, and wrap the fingers around and really kind of squeeze your insides of your legs together as you circle. It's going to make this a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more engaging in the muscles that support the knee. And then we're going to reverse 6 times. 1, 2. So suppleness in our tree trunk. And then we're just going to flex and extend. Remember to breathe and not hold the breath. And then after 6 of those, relax, set your feet a little bit back to hips distance. And notice how the legs are starting to feel as we move up from our feet to our ankles, to our knees. We'll move into the quad or the energy gate here, where the leg meets the hip. So for this one, you can just rest your hands in that little crease, either pinky side or the other side. And the rest of our posture hasn't changed. We're lifting up through the crown, shoulders are dropped, tongue is behind the top teeth, and we still have the knees slightly bent. We still have that part of our posture the same. And then we're just going to circle the tailbone. So imagine you can draw a line from the tip of your sacrum to the floor between your arches of your feet, and you're going to circle the tailbone. You're going to engage these lower muscles in the abs. You'll feel those working a bit. You'll feel the glutes activate slightly as well. So it's a very small movement, but it is quite powerful. And it really is nice for getting into those ligaments in the SI joint. And reverse that direction. And release. Take a notice now. Coming up to our waist, having our hands on our hips, and then just making a straight back little forward fold and a circle. So not a huge big circle, just a little circle. With your hands on your waist, you should feel those muscles starting to move a little bit here. And once you've done 6, either clockwise or counterclockwise, just reverse, going in the opposite direction. And then come to stand back in Wuji or empty stance, noticing. And then we'll move into the upper back now, a little bit more into that space between the shoulder blades. We're going to take an inhale. And when we take that inhale, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. This is going to automatically cause the chest to look up a little bit to the ceiling. That's our inhale. And then our exhale is as we push the tailbone back, the backs of the hands come towards each other. Your head comes between your hands, and then we rise back up. Now, this movement is something that you can make large and really take a deep bend if you wish, or you can keep it nice and high, making a little bend here. The movement, you should feel it in between the shoulder blades and in the chest, so the whole upper back. Exhaling as you come forward and inhaling as you rise up. This is opening and closing the gates. It's a nice warm up for the liver and gallbladder energy and that wood element that we're looking so forward to, which is associated with the screen. And I kind of lost track, so let's do just 2 more. And release. Give your shoulders a little roll here. Taking that moment to again observe how your body's feeling. And then moving up into our neck, we'll do wise owl gazes backwards. So the palms are kind of facing the front of your body. As you inhale, you rotate the palms up. And it's not like you're coming way out here. It's just right by your sides of your body, just opening the arms, reaching back with the thumb and looking over the shoulder. Inhale, you come back to center. Exhale, looking over the other shoulder. Nice and slow with your breath. And do 6 of these, so 3 to each side. Yes, everybody. And then just settle back into the G. Observe how you're feeling. And then we will move into our 6 Qi Cultivation Exercises. The first one is we're going to lift Qi up and down this way. And you can have that slight bend in your knees. So you're starting in that Wu Ji. As your arms come up, you might notice that the knees straighten a little bit, never locking them, but they come straighter. And as you exhale, you might find that bend back in the knees. So we inhale, we're drawing that earth rooted energy up, and exhaling, pressing down. Inhaling, exhaling. And remember to use your own breath. Move slower or quicker than me, that's fine. Mindfully moving, letting your arms be light as feathers. Using that imagery, if it helps, of having a butterfly in the palm of your hand. And so when you turn your palm, you have to turn it very slowly so as not to drop the butterfly or make it fly away. You can close your eyes if you want. We're going to do 8 reps of the Qi cultivation. When you finish your 8th one, just come back into that Wuji stance, into your empty stance. Take a moment and observe your body. You might start to feel those tingly feelings in your hands. Check your feet, make sure you're feeling grounded again, and moving the feet around if you need to, feeling equal pressure on both of the soles of the feet. Seven carts pushing forward is the next movement. So this movement, we start with our hands by the chest, and the palms are facing each other, or they could face down. It doesn't really matter. And what we're imagining that we're pushing 7, someone used grocery carts because I'm sure it was rickshaws in China, but we just want to push them forward. And at the very end of the push, the fingers come up to the ceiling, but we're not doing this. We're not overextending. Okay. It's just to the maximum length of your reach without overextending. And then we draw the arms back in. And this is an exhale on the push and inhale as you gather back. Shoulders are softened down. Arms are relaxed. You're moving your hands like you have the butterflies on them. You have 2 more, or I have 2 more. So when you finish your 8, then just come back into that Wuji. And observing your arms, your fingers, your hands. So moving Qi up, down, out, and in. Now we're going to make a horizontal circle with standing snake body. So as your arms circle out, so let's say over to the right or to the left, I'll mirror you. If they come over to the left, Your belly button is going to come over to the opposite side. So it's not really your hip. Like we're not doing this with our hips like a hula dancer. It's a very subtle movement. Think moving belly button. So the arms extend out in front of you. As they come over to the right, the belly button goes to the left. And as they start to come out to the left, the belly button goes to the right. That's it. So we'll count from here. Now, the trick here too is to really soften the shoulders away from the ears. Let your hands feel like they're marionettes or little puppets, that someone has a string on the back of your hands. So your arms are really weightless and light. Nice. Good job. And then we're going to reverse our circle. So now if you were going clockwise, we're just going to move it counterclockwise. So just reverse the direction your arms are moving in. If your shoulders get tired, you can also bring them down. You can work from down here. It doesn't matter. Just listen to your body, move with your breath, very mindfully. When we've done 8 of our standing snake body or horizontal circles, come back into that empty stance for a breath or two. Our next one, we're going to step forward just with the foot like we're taking a walk, like we're walking. So it's not a really big, wide step. It's just a natural step forward. We're going to make a circle down and away from us, and then come back. And as you lean back, you can lift the toes of that leg that's forward or not. You don't have to. Exhaling, inhaling. Exhaling. And again, your arms are heavy. We have a little bend in the elbow as we draw back. Your arms are heavy here. It's like they're just being pulled up by those strings. And then we're going to reverse our circle. So we're going to come out now and back in. There's always the option to change legs if you want to as well while you're doing these. And again, the option to always keep the arms low and small if that feels better for your shoulders. And then this is the last one. Stepping that foot back, coming back into your empty stance, just noticing how you're feeling. Our fifth one is lion plays with the ball. So our ball is kind of about as wide as our body. So we're not out here and we're not tiny. We have our ball about here. And then once you have the ball and your elbows are by your side, just lift the elbows, not your shoulders. Lift the elbows a little bit away from your body. Good. Going to the left arm is going to come on top. So it's like you're taking this ball and you're just rotating the ball. Left arm comes on top. When you make this rotation, you're not moving your knees, you're not coming up, you're not going way behind. It's a very just with your waist. Exhaling, inhaling back to the center with your ball, and then rotate it to the right with the right arm on top. Good. Back to the center. Come back to the center. Yeah. And then rotate to the other side. Yeah. So sometimes the visual helps with the ball, actually. So if you have this ball and you're going to the side, all you're doing is turning the ball. You're going to bring the ball back, and then you're just going to turn the ball. So one hand's on top, one hand's on the bottom. We come to the center, and then we switch the hands. That's it. So your feet should feel really connected and grounded. That little tiny bend in the knees should still be there. You're going to have a little bit of movement in the hips. You might feel it translate down the leg, but you're not actively moving the legs. Now, when you come over to the left, so your left arm's on top, we're going to switch arms. So we're just going to move our ball over to the right. So just come all the way across your body to the right. There you go. Come back to the center. Now, when you go to the left, your right arm is on top. That's it, your opposite arm. Good job. Back to the center. When you go to the left, to the right, your left arm's on top. Move one more to each side. And then we come back to our center and back into Wu Ji stance. Nice. The last one is filing and drilling. So if we stepped out with our one leg to do our vertical circle, step out with the other leg. Okay. Our palms are going to start down for the first one. We'll do filing. So as you lean forward, it's a little lean forward this time. So last time we were going back and forward and the foot was coming up. This one is just a lean forward. At the end of your reach, the palms turn up. So again, I'm not overextending. I'm just nice and comfortable. Then you bring the hands back, you lean back a little bit, palms turn down. Exhale, lean forward, rotate palms up. Inhale, lean back, rotate palms down. Inhale, lean forward, rotate palms up. I'm sorry, exhale and inhale, lean back. So you could show you from the side. I'm just inhaling, exhaling, sorry, and then inhaling. Two more. And then release that. You can step that back foot up. And then we're going to take the back foot and step that one forward. The next one is drilling. So drilling, we start with our palms up. And as we lean forward, it's like we're going to rotate our hands like a drill to the back so the hands touch each other or face each other. Exhaling and then inhaling. And again, you just sort of lean forward, exhale, and inhale. So nice rotation of the shoulders, the wrists, the elbows. And then when your hands come back, just step that foot back, let that go. And that is the 6 Qi Cultivation Exercises. Take a little drink. Come back into Uji. And I think we have time. Let's do the 3 swings because that's kind of the whole first complete set. And the three Tai Chi swings they're called. So the first one is just constant bear. So our feet are, if you want to have them a little bit wider for this, that's okay. You can have them. So here's hips distance for me, and I might just come out just a little wider. Okay, good. So constant bear is just, it's almost like you're making this little figure 8 with your hips. And your arms are just coming along for the ride. So it's not a big lot of movement with the arms. They're just moving a little bit as we move. And see how this figure 8 feels in your body. If you find that it is a little bit tough on the knees, then you might want to make that little bend and just make a side to side movement if it's bothering your knees. Because with the figure 8, we are shifting onto one leg, shifting onto the other leg. So it's a little bit more stressful on the knees. So decide how that feels in your body. But the movement is all in the hips. The arms are just hanging, kind of heavy. I like this one because it feels like I'm lubricating my hip socket, which feels nice. And then bring that to some stillness. And then we're going to do our swings, like I'm going to add in one more swing. This one is going to be like the knocking on the gate of life. So you can bend the knee, lift the heel. If you feel really comfortable with that figure 8 in your hips, you can make the figure 8 and just kind of let your arms go like that. But if you need to, you can also just lift the heel and let your arms just wrap around the back of the body. And we kind of want to hit here between the kidneys on our Ming Men or the gate of life. Arms are really loose. Good. Now, the next swing, which is part of the Tai Chi swings, is we're going to step out and out and out and out. So our arms are coming in this little shape as we step out with a little cat stance. So we still have to shift the weight. We make a little, pick up our toe a little bit, bend the knee a little bit, heavy on the arms. And then the last swing is we come out and up and out. So we're adding this little loop at the top, like a W. And let that go. Give your body a little bit of a shake. Give your legs a little shake. Good. And then just come back to Wuji. Let your breath and your body slow. Your heart rate. So that is a perfect Qigong warm up and also introduction to just moving Qi in all different directions and getting a sense for what it feels like. So some of you may have felt that little magnetic feeling between your hands, maybe while you were playing with Lion Plays the Ball, or that sort of heaviness in your arms. That's all Qi moving, and that's what these exercises are meant to cultivate. So the next one I'll do is I will work with the snake, the first part of the snake. So the energies and the qualities of snake are transformation, coiling or flexibility, the ability to stay grounded because snakes move on the ground and very connected to that earth energy and that quality of feeling grounded, but also shedding its skin and transforming. And that doesn't mean getting rid of something old or negative necessarily. It can also mean just embracing something new. It doesn't, so you can change the connotation of that. So what I want everybody to do is to interlace your fingers, turn the palms out, and stretch your arms forward. Good. And I want you to look at your fingers, and they probably are all pink and white, right? Are they pink and white? We do not want that. So this is the hard part about the snake form, is that we want to have this movement, but we don't want to have that pink and white feeling in our fingers. So this requires us to be able to have a sense of form and strength, but also have that flexibility with our fingers. So the first one, there's three parts of it's a snake breaks out of shell. So the first part is the snake is waking up and he realizes or she realizes she's in a shell. Okay. So we're going to start with our fingers interlaced, feet about hips distance apart, and we're going to make that interlacing our fingers, but soft. Okay. So for me, when I bring my arms overhead, I cannot stretch my arms straight. If I stretch my arms straight, I'm going to create that tension in my fingers and I'm going to see that pink and white. So for me, I'm about right here. You know, my teacher is up here. I'm about here. Without, I can wiggle my fingers, they feel comfortable. So we have to keep that in mind. Then we're just going to turn the palms towards our body and we're going to bring them back down. So it starts with an inhale where we're going to bring the hands up like we're just reaching the top of our shell and we feel the top of the shell. And then we float the arms back down. Turning the palms towards you as the arms come down. Inhaling, palms up, facing us. Turn them as you reach the top of the shell without overextending. And another one. So it's a very simple movement, but it can be a little bit difficult to really focus on, you know, keeping the shoulders relaxed, right? So you can even think like the snake is looking around, you know, you want to have that flexibility in the neck. Let's do one more of these. And the more you do it, I just noticed looking at myself on the screen, I felt like my arms were a bit straighter, but I still have that softness in my fingers just by lubricating the shoulders. And then we'll release that. So now the snake knows it's in a shell. It's starting to explore the shell. Now it's going to move to the front of the shell. So the way that it does that is we have that same movement with our arms, but this time when we come up, we're going to make a little forward sweep. Bring the arms down and up. So kind of making this circle, like it's sweeping the front of its shell. Sweeping the front. And again, trying to maintain that softness in the fingers, letting your arms be heavy, but able to move them. So having that flexibility, feeling that groundedness and connectedness with your feet still, with the earth. Good. Now we're going to reverse that direction. So we're coming down and out. So now we're going to sweep up. And then turn the hands to face us. Come down. That's it. And sweep up without pressing, whitening, or making the knuckles white or pink. So that, again, takes a little bit of grace. You have to be light with your arms. Oh, everybody has that one, I think. Knees are slightly bent. One more. And then this time when we get to the top, release your hands. And then just take your hands out in front, like you're feeling that inside of the shell, you have an idea of the space around you. And relax in Ruji for a moment. And then the last one, give your fingers a little wiggle if you need. The last one is the snake is going to break out of its shell. So now it not only knows there's a shell up here, and it not only knows there's a shell in front and behind, but now it knows there's the shell all around and it's going to get ready to break out. So this time we bring the arms up and then we're going to make a circle. So we're going to circle in one direction. And again, you can make this small or you can make it big. You can come down as low as you want, or you can make it as tiny as you want, just staying in this upper plane of the body. Again, trying to keep that softness in between the fingers, the interlaced fingers. And then reverse your direction. We're going to go in the other direction 6 times. If you're feeling a little dizzy, stop, close your eyes, take a seat. Softness in the fingers. And then when you come back up to the top, we're going to release our grip in our fingers. And now we're going to crack open the top of our egg and let your hands push the shell apart. And the snake pops out. Relaxing your arms by your side. And maybe picturing a snake. If you're afraid of snakes, just know that they are amazing indicators for our environment. They are extremely sensitive to any kind of change. So sensitivity is a quality of the snake. And like I said, they live low to the ground. I mean, they can climb trees, but they're very connected with the earth. So very grounded and relaxed. They don't like to be cold. When they get cold, they can be temperamental, angry, lashing out maybe. But when they are in harmony with their surroundings, they are peaceful. They have that ability of suppleness to move. They're flexible. So let's take another, actually, let's do our 2 minutes of standing meditation. If you feel like you need to sit, you can. We're just going to do 2 minutes of standing meditation. So back into your Wuji, maybe you need to adjust a little bit. Starting feeling the feet connected, lifting up through the crown of the head. Softening the shoulders, tip of the tongue behind the top teeth, slight bend in the knees. Really feeling connected with the earth. And just focusing on breathing in and breathing out. Noticing the sensations in your body. Where do areas feel light? Where do areas feel heavy? Do you have any uncomfortable feelings, numbness, tingling, or pain? Hopefully no pain, but you can have a sense of discomfort and see if you can move into that place of discomfort and maybe even shift a little bit. Maybe make some shifts in the spine, the shoulders, maybe the bend in the knees, maybe making it more or less, maybe adjusting the feet. Seeing how comfortable you can get. Breathing in and breathing out. Just breathing and being in this standing meditation. As soon as your mind wanders to someplace else, come back to the breath. And again, if your body is distracting you, see what little minute adjustments you can make. Feel a sense of sinking or chen in Chinese, this sinking feeling and this lifting feeling through the crown of the head at the same time. And if your eyes are closed, slowly open your eyes. Make a loose fist with your dominant hand, bringing it up to your chest, covering it with your other hand, softening the shoulders away from your ears. Taking a bow to our teacher, whether that is our nature, and the lessons we learned today, anything we might have yet to learn. And then taking a bow to each other for your presence and your practice and your community. And then the last bow is for yourself, for your body, your mind, your spirit, your breath, for being here and taking time. I'm going to stop the recording.